If you like what you hear in this podcast and want to help us keep the lights on, then you could support us on Ko-fi for as little as a £1 one-off donation. The links are in the episode description. Thanks for your support. This is Skip, the podcast where we tell you, in our opinion, which albums are truly unskippable and which ones are to be thrown into the skip. I'm Mike.
I'm Rob.
And this week, as suggested by many of you, and actually is the only album we've had multiple suggestions for
So far,
we are covering My Chemical Romance's The Black Parade, otherwise known as Emo Jesus. No, it's not. The importance of this album can't be overstated. It really can't.
Not for our generation.
Not for our generation. I don't know how many people request this, but the last time I looked at the sheets, I know that it had been requested both by my previous co-host, although we might do things in the future going forward, of course. But my very, very long-suffering co-host over at Fountainment, Darren Guttridge, did request this, along with other people, I think.
Yeah, one of my former classmates called Becky.
Ah, well, thank you very much. And I'm sure there are other... I've had this requested to me in person.
Same, a few times.
More than any other album. And then I go, don't worry, it's on the list. And more people keep asking for it.
The two notes that I have are Becky's pure nostalgia and teenage emo phase angst. What more could you want? Also, the tour was phenomenal. And Darren, I pitched a musical to Mike about it, and that half converted him. Time to finish the job.
He ain't wrong. He ain't wrong. Like, I didn't like this album. I didn't like My Chemical Romance before we did an episode of, I think it would have been Pitch Intense over at Fountainment. Those are still up if you want to go and listen to them.
Your tent's still up.
It fully pitched. And nobody got that was the gag, by the way. Nobody got that the gag was Pitch Intense. Doesn't matter. Yeah, he pitched this musical as a way to adapt. It was a readaptation of the story, really, because you've got the actual kind of narrative of the Black Parade, which he could have used as a sculpture, really, to kind of put this film idea he had around it. And he wrote something completely new and completely different. It was really good, and he made me listen to the album in a new way. So thanks, Darren. You did do it. You did make me listen to it in new light, and you gave me newfound appreciation for it. And now we do it all over again.
In a similar vein to you, I didn't like this album growing up.
Nope.
I was a huge fan of their second album.
Oh, and that's it, because I thought you were going to say, like me, you were very much an MCR hater growing up.
No, I wasn't a hater. I loved the first two MCR albums, even though people incorrectly put this as the second full MCR album.
Yeah, nobody remembers.
I gave you my bullets, you gave me your love.
That's the one. From 2002?
I don't know off the top of my head. However, this is the third album. I was a huge MCR fan, especially when they were doing stuff with The Used, which is another band close to my heart. But when this album came out, I kind of fell out of love with the hype of My Chemical Romance and fell in love with Panic at the Disco. Panic at the Disco.
Did you say Panic at the Tesco?
Oh, it's a long-running joke with me and my brother. We used to call them Panic at the Tesco because we used to listen to them in Tesco. Of all places. So, this one's for you, my ginger brethren.
I chime in with a haven't you people ever heard of using the club card? Oh, no.
It's much better to scan these types of things.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
With your produce and your groceries.
I chime in. Oh, fuck.
There we go.
Okay.
New stage opera. Panic at the Tesco.
And the award for my favourite episode of Skipped goes to...
Oh, and the crowd goes wild.
Well, that was beautiful. Okay, we've set the stage for theatricality early, which is what this album does well.
So, let's go into some facts about this album.
Yeah.
So, this was My Chemical Romance's third album and their 2006 concept album, The Black Parade. Theatrical rock opera that catapulted the band into global superstardom. It's a story of death, memory, and legacy wrapped in glam punk grandeur. So it came out on the 23rd of October 2006, and as I said, the third studio album. and it was a concept album based on a main character called the Patient, who is a character dying of cancer who experiences death as a parade, which is kind of a metaphor for how people remember us when we're gone.
I remember that being a huge stick for haters to beat that album with. The whole, oh, they made a whole album about cancer and dying from cancer, and it's an album for you to feel depressed and cut yourself to. I think, on recollection, I think a lot of people have given this record its flowers, and rightly so. But at the time, now any album that can piss off the Daily Mail is an album I like. And I remember this pissed off the Daily Mail.
Oh, yeah, it did, didn't it? I remember.
Yeah, because they were already demonizing goths.
Yeah.
Which is what led to, like, a lot of fucking horrible shit happening to people.
Sophie Lancaster?
Yeah, it's that kind of stuff. It's the divisive shit that these right-wing rags have been doing the whole fucking time, and they tried it against the My Chemical Romance fans by saying, this music is telling your kids to cut themselves. This music's killing your kids. Oh, protect our kids. I mean, don't protect our kids when it comes to the fucking royals, apparently. Anyway, and then the fans retaliated, and the fans started protesting outside of the Daily Mail offices on Fleet Street. Fucking love them for that. Fuck the Daily Mail. So I think that is a very valid kind of thing to pull back in, that it wasn't shy of controversy. But I think the controversy, although, you can say there's no such thing as bad publicity, I think what they were trying to do, and obviously this is mostly Gerard Way's kind of thrust when adding this narrative to the whole record, what they're trying to do with the story of the patient is, like you say, recontextualize life around the memories and legacy that we leave, which is endlessly fascinating. The idea of the parade literally being an echo of one of his happiest memories, recontextualizing his darkest time, I think is incredibly poetic. And it very much would have appealed at the time. Didn't appeal to me because I was very much a hater for no reason. And I will say that we do things when we were kids that are fucking stupid, and I needlessly plastered anybody who liked My Chemical Romance or this album as just fucking, like, the elitism when it came to alternative subcultures when we were at school was crazy.
Oh yeah, it was insane.
Unbelievable. Like I was super into System of a Down.
You're one of the dirty grebs.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was one of the emo kids because I listened to softer stuff like this or Him and bands like Mayday Parade. You know, that really emo, really positive, put your foot forward, be your best self type music.
Yeah.
But because he had a bit of a rock beat and wasn't Heartbroken by T2 banger. Then you were a dirty greb or an emo child because I'm heartbroken.
Anybody with a fringe was wrong. That's basically what it was.
If you didn't listen to
it all sounded like that.
You're a bit of a goth.
It was all fart music in the 2000s, wasn't it?
It was a very fine line between being one of the, I'm just going to say chavs.
Yeah.
It was chavs versus grebs.
Basically.
That was the 2000s in a nutshell.
Yeah. I think in the States, obviously, you've got more of that kind of fertile ground for emos being a huge thing. But they were very much, I wouldn't even say the counterculture here. I just think there were so many of us and what felt like so few of us.
We were all scattered around. Me and Mike have known each other since we were, I think, 3. Just to give a bit of context, we didn't know this at the time.
No, we didn't.
Not until we found a beautiful photo of us together, which at some point we're going to ask for your help to try and find the third person in this photo.
We've no idea.
We have no clue who he is.
No.
However, the two of us are together on a ride that we went to with our school with this random other kid sat between us. I look pissed off because I don't want to be next to them. Mike's having a whale of a time with a bowl cut. And we were going to have to find each other at some point.
Yeah.
But we ended up going to different schools and growing up very differently. But even then, we were part of the subcultures within our own schools, then found a collective love for music and rekindled our friendship without realising that we already knew each other.
It was an interesting story.
It's a strange time. And the fact that so many schools in our local area all had a similar number of emo and goth and just general rock kids, and we all just came together and had a blast.
It kind of, we're spending a lot of this time talking about our school days, it felt like you always had the school fights and the school rivalries, but not the goth kids, not the emo kids. They all very much gelled together.
Yeah, we just stayed back and just watched everyone else fight while we listened to our own music.
I think that's part of being the outcast, right? That's part of being othered when it comes to this. And like, I'm not going to sit here and say that, oh, we had it so bad. Like, I'm sorry, I am still a white, straight guy. Yeah. I just happened to have blue hair at the fucking time.
I did.
Yeah, you did. And then I had blue hair. I basically copied you without knowing it.
Didn't you have actual blue hair and I had dark blue hair to the point it was black?
I got this because a friend of mine's sister was training to be a hairdresser and she needed somebody to test out this particular like salon grade dye.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, I'll go electric blue, thinking it would be that dark blue that shows up slightly blue in the light, like on the packet. Nah, it's bright blue the whole fucking time. It looked real bad. I had to scrub at that stuff to get the blue. Like because I was like relatively well behaved at school, the teachers didn't mind. But like I think it was a PE teacher like had a go at me. I was like, "Do you think this is acceptable?" I'm like, "Well, the girls walk around with bright red hair.
Well,
so what's the problem?"
I'm probably one of the palest men you'll ever see in life, and I'm naturally ginger.
You had black hair,
and I used to dye my hair. What was the brand name? Schwarzkopf double XL black, which was then banned for chemical reasons.
For My Chemical Reasons, yes.
There we go. That's the name of the episode, My Chemical Reasons. But yeah, I used to be one of those types of emo scene kids that used to dye my hair black. So I very much stood out from the crowd.
Yeah. So when we're talking about the cultural impact of this album, world over, cannot be understated. And certainly in the UK is very much the litmus test for whether you were Grebo, goth, emo, whatever.
It is apparently now, in current times, it is the quintessential emo elder album.
I enjoy where this emo elder thing has come from because, you know, we've all got broken hearts and aching backs. We're all there together. I think the interesting thing about it now is reading the reviews it got back in the day, because whilst it was received relatively positively, some of those reviews are incredibly scathing. And they're like, oh, this is very trite. It's got ideas above its station and all this stuff. Whereas, like, the magazines that were very much within the subculture, I think Kerrang! Actually said this is an instant classic. And when people write that, it kind of feels hyperbolic, right? It kind of feels like you're just saying that's the album you enjoyed this year. And I don't think the same thing can be said about The Black Parade. I think no matter what verdict we give it today, it has absolutely proven itself to be one of the most important albums that was released in the 2000s. It is one of the most important albums, not only to emo subculture, but to rock subculture, weirdly also rap subculture, had huge overreaching influences on hundreds of thousands of artists, and moreover led to the creation of the Umbrella Academy, which I think is pretty dope. So, all good things.
And is probably one of the only songs in the world which is instantly recognisable from a singular piano note. So, going into the tracks, this album followed quite a few and had 5 separate singles.
Yes.
So it started off with Welcome to the Black Parade, which became the lead single and actually reached number 1 on the UK singles chart, which shows that the general press that slated this can shove it up themselves. Followed by Famous Last Words, I Don't Love You, Teenagers, and finally Mama, which was not technically released as a traditional single. It did get a platinum certification and was promoted heavily with radio play and fan acclaim.
So they didn't release it as a single, but they still played it on the radio?
Yeah.
That's pretty dope.
And it got platinum.
That's incredible.
Like, how many artists do you know that haven't physically released a single and still have the song go platinum?
That is insane. That's got to be, because I don't remember that being played up here. That must have happened stateside.
It must have been a stateside thing, but yeah, big song. And comically, even though I wasn't a big fan of the album, because similar to you, I kind of pushed it to the side with what the press was saying as well with the cancer theme, because at the time my family was going through a lot of cancer-related scares,
right? And
hearing Gerard Way, which I heard at the time, don't know if it's a rumor or not, say that he cut and bleached his hair to simulate cancer.
Yeah,
kind of made me go, what the fuck, bro? This is an important time in my life. People are dying. What are you doing this for?
I think that's the problem, right? Because the spin that was put on by right-wing fucking tabloid shit rags was that it glorified cancer. Whereas I think it's a myth. The whole thing of cut yourself is actually a misquote from an interview that Gerard Way was giving about the album. In the kind of press cycle leading up to it, he said he needed to cut himself open. With the full context of that quote is emotionally, in order to understand how to reevaluate and kind of reminisce with the idea of the life flashing before your eyes. He never once referred to self-harm. Cutting yourself open meant in order to be able to convey all of those emotions when looking at a life in retrospect. And I think it's really interesting that very much, that was one of those playground like rumors that absolutely held firm. People said he did that to look like a cancer patient. It's not true. The story is about a cancer patient. The Black Parade themselves are how should I put this? Not only an alter ego for the band, because during that tour they didn't perform as My Chemical Romance, they performed as the Black Parade, and My Chemical Romance did the encore. So they're these characters, as well as a metaphor for the life flashing before your eyes and returning to your happiest moment. Huge, right? And all of these things just get twisted and turned in the hearsay. And I feel like that's something you couldn't do today. There is a finality to things that are online now.
Well, the thing is as well, when you compare this to a song that came out around a similar time of Papa Roach's Scars, similar sort of thing where I tear my heart open and sew myself shut.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't get the same critical analysis like that his interview went through, and that was a song that came out.
I mean, Cut My Life in Two Pieces in Last Resort.
That didn't get the same critical slating that this album got, but because this album was so big and travelled so far across the globe in such a short amount of time, it got the press's attention and they didn't like it, which is why he got so many negative reviews from the press, where if this came out in a modern age where the quality of journalism that we see online has massively improved to actually take in albums.
You think it's improved? Wow, fair enough.
You have to admit, the press that we see that has taken in other sources, not just the shit rags that we see, but other sources that say, I can appreciate that even though I don't like rock music, this is a great rock album.
Oh, you talking about specifically like music?
Yeah, more like music journalism rather than the shit rags.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha.
It's come on leaps and bounds. Like The Enemy have actually been more receptive to stuff that isn't Britpop and indie as of late. Like they've took some serious rock albums and considered them. Similarly, Kerrang has kind of dropped off a bit, but other magazines, other online publications have taken their place. And you see like some truly phenomenal reviews from different sources that you'd think in the past would be like, no, this is going to get a 1-star. Like Mojo, for example, they used to be awful at anything that wasn't prog rock.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
And they used to suck the arse of the White Stripes, like no one's business. But now they can actually appreciate some of different musical styles that they wouldn't typically have.
It's like if you could see something that was recommended by Q magazine, you go, great, that's going to be practically unlistenable then. It would just be like always really high concept stuff that wouldn't even remotely like be enjoyable to the standard person.
100%, but it's kind of, they've realised that the niche isn't there anymore. The listeners don't care. They want to get an honest review, and if they stand out for the sake of standing out, people won't read them anymore.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? So there's a lot to consider when it comes to not just what was going on at the time, but what is now going on with the resurgence of this album. MCR are back on tour. They are very much adding to the lore of the Black Parade with this latest tour in 25 into 26. There seems to be some kind of new Soviet characters. Apparently this is supposedly all in canon to the Black Parade story.
Has it kind of just eradicated the whole Fabulous Killjoys arc?
Well, the Fabulous Killjoys was, it's a separate universe almost, you know what I mean? Like, again,
they were Marvel on the situation.
Technically, they went Marvel when they did Black Parade. Like, 3 Cheers was a My Chem album. The Black Parade is the Black Parade, and the Fabulous Killjoys is the Fabulous Killjoys. That's how it's not just a concept album. They became a concept band at that point. It wasn't until now they did those reunion shows in 21 that we attended at Milton Keynes, where it looked like they wanted to be literally anywhere else. They're in Milton Keynes, so
they did want to be anywhere else.
Yeah, we all did, but we paid money.
You paid a lot of money to go to that show as well.
Yeah, and it was like over COVID, where we were all on furlough, so like how they had the temerity to charge £100 for a fucking hoodie at that point, I'll never know. But you've now got, the 25-26 tour is you're back in the Black Parade world. I don't know if they're performing as the Black Parade, but obviously it's now what? When did this album come out? 2006, I think.
Yep, 2006.
So we're approaching.
We're approaching 20th anniversary territory,
and it keeps happening. We go to an album that's having a significant anniversary.
We covered this in the last episode. What's going on?
We've done it again. We didn't will this one into existence because it happened before the show, but it's lined up surprisingly well that towards the end of this year we're talking about an album that's about to become 20 years old and is now viewed as almost a Queen-like, well, certainly a Night at the Opera-like level masterclass, untouchable album. We're 20 minutes in. Let's talk about our favourite tracks.
I'm going to start off with my second favourite track.
Mm-hmm.
So Disenchanted. I just love that whole, you're just a sad song with nothing to say. It feels like the majority of 2000s music that came out.
Yeah, it does. It's
like Daniel Powter. You've had a bad day. You take it lying down. You sing a sad song just to turn it around. What the fuck are you talking about, mate?
God knows. I mean, you wouldn't sing Disenchanted to turn it around because that's very much the low point of this narrative, isn't it? It's a good track. They've been using a version of this to advertise the latest tour. And yeah, it real fits the themes they're going for. If you wanted to talk about an emo song, it is this one.
It is a stadium anthem. Like, I'd imagine that if you didn't see them in Milton Keynes and saw them before this song live, it would be phenomenal. Just as a caveat, I didn't go to the Milton Keynes show. Mike did with his wife.
Yes.
I saw them on the Fabulous Killjoys tour, and I was equally as disappointed because it's when they were wrapping up the first time.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that album afterwards never happened, supposedly. I think they ended up releasing songs from this, mysterious fifth album, but like...
It just never actually came to a full fruition, did it?
No.
The Fabulous Killjoys kind of tried to make the most of their traffic and just kind of quashed.
Well, it was when he wanted to just start writing comic books, because he did that. Then there was a comic book that was the epilogue to the album. Then he did Umbrella Academy, and then he started doing stuff for DC. Gerard Weiss had a fucking wild career. It's unbelievable. And then executive producing the Netflix adaptation of Umbrella Academy, which is banger after banger after banger of series, followed by a wet fart of nothingness.
That last series.
It was very much the Fabulous...
We could spend an entire episode talking about that.
It is the killjoys of that franchise, man.
It's always the fifth.
It is. For some reason. I don't know.
Jared does not like the number 5.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, technically, it was the 5th volume of Umbrella Academy that was adapted into Series 4. Because they wrap... This is so totally off the mark of this episode, right? But I need to talk about it. The choice they made in Umbrella Academy Season 3 to shove the arcs of chapters 4 and 5 of the Umbrella Academy comics together because it wasn't finished at the time was such a bizarre decision. I'll never understand why they did it, leaving the final series to just be, let's throw some things at the wall and see what sticks. And it was my favourite Netflix show of all time. And it was. And then they Game of Thrones it. And makes me feel so bad.
But anyway.
Yeah, the album.
So yeah, Disenchanted. I do also like Dead.
Oh yeah, I love Dead.
Yeah.
Dead's fantastic. I have got a newfound appreciation because like the end is very much a scene setter. It's the song that gets sung. If you were imagining a stage production of this, it's the song that gets sung before the curtain lifts and you see the set.
It's that intro guitar, man.
It's very good. You can hear that solo as like a drop, like in my head, like a quick cloth gets dropped. And all of a sudden, like...
And when your heart stops beating.
Yeah. In my head, in the stage adaptation of this, that cloth drops with the... And the lights are going, and then you've probably got some kind of flotilla as like the set piece and all that. And from that very beginning, they have found the theatricality and they have found the message of the recontextualization of the experience of death. Wonderful, wonderful song. Really like it. Really come round on Dead.
And then my favourite track is one of their singles. Can you guess which one?
I hope it's the same as my favourite track.
It is Famous Last Words.
Fucking love this song.
Such a strong song. Music video, absolute cinematic masterpiece. Just, up there with one of my all-time favourite songs.
Yeah, man, it's real good. This is the one, and I will say this, and I'll fully admit it, the song that turned me around on MCR was Famous Last Words. Darren did this thing in that episode, and again, go and listen to that podcast if you want to. The scene that he constructed around this, he invented these characters, one living, one dead. And this song was like almost them going back and forth at each other, of this idea of like joining the Black Parade, descending into hell, or keeping on living. And when you hear that kind of conflict described in that terms, and then you go back to the song, go, actually, no, this is a weirdly optimistic ending to the I'm Dying of Cancer album, which is bizarre, but it works so well. It's got such a good thrust to get this thing over the cliff at the end and stop it being, Disenchanted is almost the complete opposite of this. Disenchanted is the absolute dirge of the depths. Life is meaningless. All of this was meaningless. It was worth nothing to I am not afraid to be alive. And by proxy, not afraid to see the end of it either. Poetry, man. It's real fucking good.
It's like the stages of grief, isn't it?
Mm.
It's kind of like acceptance and like just going, okay, shit's happening. Let's push through.
Yeah, man. It's really, really
so
good.
Strong and such a positive message. Fuck the Times. Fuck the Daily Mail.
Just fuck the Daily Mail in general, but like especially because of what they did, because any album with that good of a song on it does not deserve to be dragged.
Exactly. Like, it's such a positive message, and they didn't. It's almost like they took the album, looked at the audience that were enjoying it, hated the fact that military jackets were back in fashion, and then just put out a shit piece to try and flag it.
Those things will come back round.
They already are.
They already come back round. I thought they might be.
I went into Urban Outfitters,
yeah.
Sponsor us if you want, and they had two different variants, one in green, one in black.
No way.
And if it's anything
with the actual stripes?
Not with the actual stripes, just with the military-style buttons on and the clasps, but the stripes will be back. Blue Banana are going to have a fucking field day.
Well, they didn't stop selling them, surely.
No, they didn't. They've probably got them on surplus.
Yeah.
They were the chief supplier of non-official Black Parade memorabilia.
Because weren't the official ones like pricey as hell?
I remember back in day, I think the official one was £60, which in 2005 pricing was spenny.
Yeah.
And I remember my friend group, there was like a group of friends that you also know that tagged on to my friend group through relationships. And for some reason, part of my friend group burnt her My Chemical Romance official jacket. I have no idea why. I wasn't there, thankfully, otherwise I'd have stopped it. But they full on burnt it. I will tell you more after. I'll go into names.
Yeah, cool.
They took it off her back and burnt it because they weren't MCR fans. They were metal fans, and they were like, "This is disgusting. You shouldn't have this on."
You should listen to real music like Trivium. Fuck off.
Nah, it wasn't Trivium.
It
was Korn.
Real. I like Korn, but like, I'm not gonna sit here and go fucking
Korn are better than Jesus.
I'm not gonna say Beat Me Up Right has been better written than Famous Last Words. Exactly. Come on now, Jesus.
I think Come On Eileen is better written than the majority of Korn songs.
Yeah, no way. It just that's insane. That's absolutely insane.
But yeah,
those are your top two.
Those are my top three songs.
Top three.
Disenchanted, Dead, and Famous Last Words.
I am there with you for all of them. I am also going to pick up The Sharpest Lives. I love it.
Yeah,
it's so good. And again, half of the thing that got me halfway there to begin with was this this scene that Darren wrote for his film about like these down on the luck people in this dive bar and give me a shot to remember. And the way he described it was like, I could very clearly in my head see the choreography, but removing that external factor from this, The Sharpest Lives is just a damn good song. It's got that that crunch to it. It feels dirty.
It's heavier than typical MCR songs.
Totally.
It's kind of reminiscent of their earlier work as well. So
yeah,
if you've gone back and listened to like Three Cheers and I Gave You Bullets, like it's very reminiscent of that style of song. So it's kind of throwback to earlier work.
You could put this up against something like Thank You for the Venom, and it would
hold steer. Yeah,
it would totally be congruous to those tracks on Three Cheers. I don't know much from the first one, so I can't really compare it to that. But it certainly leans more Three Cheers, which is great.
It's a lot grittier, the first album.
It is.
Worth the listen still.
Maybe I'm going to have to do... Maybe someone's going to have to recommend Three Cheers, and maybe we do that as another episode. We'll have to see. By proxy, I think This Is How I Disappear is good, but only because it feels like a part one to The Sharpest Lives. And
I don't mind that.
I think The Sharpest Lives is better. We're going to have to talk about it.
Come on, then.
I have to put it in the best songs because there's no way you can say I recognise a song from one singular note of it being played.
Just because I know exactly the song you're talking about, and for the audience out there, if you haven't got it by now, it is Welcome to the Black Parade.
Yep.
Title track, biggest song off the album, emo anthem.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. This song was about 5 million children's coming of emo-ness.
Yeah.
Of like
it's an interesting way of putting that, but yes.
This was about this was a generation's acceptance of difference. Going against the grain, appreciating a different style of music, which they typically wouldn't have got into other than this.
I'm going to say something that won't be controversial to a lot of people, but is controversial to my probably 13 or 14-year-old self now. This is the early 2000s Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yep. And
there's kind of no getting around that.
No.
We talk about the cultural impact of this entire record, and I'd say, this album at 99% cultural impact strength is just Welcome to the Black Parade.
100%.
It is effortlessly brilliant. It is massively theatrical. The Queen, inspirations, I mean, they run on the surface level, but they also run very, very deep about the way they've stacked all these operatic elements and these big vocal choruses. And that's not just in the choruses. I mean, they've genuinely got these... Like there's literally a theatrical chorus towards the end. It is all in there. What else can you say about Welcome to the Black Parade that hasn't already been said? It is one of the most important songs ever written. I don't think it's the best one on the record, but I cannot in good conscience not include it in the good songs because it is so anthemic, so well known. And being well known and being recognisable isn't the hallmark of quality, but I think the hallmark of quality is why this is so well known, because it is such a good song, because it encapsulates all of the themes, all of the story beats and musical identity and cultural drive that the rest of the record is known for, distilled into that one song. And it doesn't feel like a compromise in any way, shape, or form.
But still not one of my top tracks.
Not on your top.
Not on my top.
Not on your top. Really?
And the only reason why is because of the overplayness.
I get it.
For years, that song was played everywhere. I used to work a rock club. It was played every single night, even on indie nights, even on the metal floors. It was played everywhere. So for me, as much as I appreciate the song and appreciate all the avenues of music it opened up and the cultural impact that it had on a generation, I still don't see it as one of my favourite songs. Not to take anything away from it, it is still a huge song, but I wouldn't put it in my top.
Not a bad track, just...
Not a bad track, just
not
as good as the ones I've mentioned, in my opinion.
No, I mean, you picked out, I think, some fan favourites and some really good ones. Because I think Sharpest Lives is a fan favourite. And I'm now becoming an MCR basic bitch by saying that is one of the best ones on the record. I still think it's Famous Last Words. I think you could ask me that years ago when I actually started listening to MCR, and I'd said Famous Last Words the best one, and my opinion has not changed. I think that is their best work.
Well, we've been through the good.
We have.
Now,
yes,
big time.
Here we
big
go.
Discussion. Do you feel like there were any bad tracks on this album?
Yes,
I agree.
I'm going to let you go first this time.
So, for me, I wouldn't necessarily say that the tracks are actually bad when you listen to them. I just think they're in the wrong position on the album.
Okay, right.
I think that if a minor tweak of the way that the album is laid out could fix my opinion of these tracks.
Right.
And they are, I say they, as there are 3 of them.
Okay.
They are I Don't Love You, House of Wolves, and Teenagers.
Okay.
I think the way that the album flows is going great, and then I Don't Love You comes out of nowhere and flows a slow ballad. House of Wolves tries to pull it back to a faster tempo. Teenagers comes in with like this incredible rhythmic like guitar part, which is damn difficult to play, and it goes back into the slow, soft songs. It's kind of like it doesn't find an obvious tempo. I don't know if that was intentionally done to like kind of back the concept of the album, but for me, it goes too much from a high to a low to a high to a low. It's kind of too quick. It needs to soften into it, and if they had it going from a fast track to a medium track to a slower to the slowest and then back up kind of like a curve, it would have worked much better for me.
Yeah.
I don't know if is the story supposed to go backwards? Is it supposed to start with the end and when you're dead and like go back to the start with blood?
I mean, it's a concept, right? I don't think there is one straight narrative. I don't think there is a start and end. But this isn't Jeff Wayne's version of the War of the Worlds. It's not meant to run like that. It is meant to be this idea of memories and life flashing before your eyes and giving snapshots into the process of slowly decaying as a person. There's a reason why Cancer, the song that, is pretty on the nose with the themes.
What's that one about?
I don't know. I couldn't
Plague.
tell you. Yeah, the bubonic plague, definitely that. The reason that that's kind of halfway through the record is because you've had those kind of higher tempo songs up front. The carnival feeling of Dead and the aggressive feeling of Sharpest Lives, the grandiose of Welcome to the Black Parade, to then drop it back down to go, the chemo's making me groggy, I can't fetch my own water, I don't have the strength to call my family. I think that kind of in and out experience, you're in, at one moment you're in the throw of one of your happiest memories and the next you are struggling to go to the toilet by yourself, is very much the point. These things don't necessarily have to be a straight line in order to be a representation of what that experience is like in terms of its narrative. That is very much just my guess and what I'm reading into it. I could look up what the actual through line of this is, but in many ways it doesn't matter what the actual through line of this is. It's what the record has said to you, and by you I mean literally you, Rob, sat in front of me, and also everybody else at home. Whatever that record means to you is almost certainly the correct way to view it. And to me, it isn't meant to be this straightforward beginning, middle, and end. It is meant to be this concept and encapsulation of, I get, like you said before, I think the 5 stages of grief absolutely comes into it. I think it just makes a lot of sense to look at it that way. Teenagers, though.
Did I scare the living shit out of you?
I need to do this for my own sanity, and I'm very sorry. You've heard enough of me talking about high concepts of delivering narrative. Teenagers is the antithesis of this, because it is not a part of the Black Parade narrative. And I know I've just said that there's no correct way of viewing it. There is a correct thing that you can do when you are making a concept album, though. It isn't just shove a song on it that you think you like that doesn't fit the theme of what you're going for. Teenagers is a My Chemical Romance song shoved into an album where they were acting as the Black Parade. Teenagers is not in any way, shape, or form remotely related to any of the themes, both narrative, political, and just anything really. Teenagers is completely separate to everything else that's going on here.
Which is more of a follow-on to I'm Not Okay.
Realistically, yeah. It fits those the themes in Three Cheers.
Sweet Cheers.
Sweet Cheers. Get them sweet cheers out, boy. I don't know what I'm talking about. It fits Three Cheers so well.
It's kind of 3 Cheers 0.5.
Right.
It's kind of like with one of our favourite bands like Don Brocco, how they release an album, then have songs that they'd have loved to feature on the album but don't quite fit, so just do a random single release.
Yes.
It feels like it could have been an in-between that was just a teaser track for the Black Parade.
Yeah.
And then Teenagers just could have been that own separate entity.
Yeah. It does not belong here.
No.
At all. I mean, you want to talk about overplay. Teenagers might be the only thing that could rival the overplay of Welcome to the Black Parade.
Oh, 100%.
This thing was goddamn everywhere. I didn't like it then, and I don't like it now.
The difference between Welcome to the Black Parade and Teenagers, though, is that Teenagers was on every radio station you could think of.
Yep.
It hit Radio 1. I'm sure I heard it on Radio 2. I wouldn't be surprised if it was on Smooth FM. Teenagers scare the living shit out of me. I could care less. Richard Cheese.
Yes.
Make it happen.
Where is he?
Richard Cheese. Richard Cheese. I think he's actually might have done a cover of it. I will Google.
Oh my God, that'd be great if he did. I tell you where this was, and we talked about it the last time. I think the last time we discussed this was in the Panic at the Disco one. This was all over stuff like MTV2 and the Kerrang TV broadcast.
And TV shows.
Yeah.
They featured the guitar part, and like any time there was an angsty teenager in a drama, whether it was UK TV like EastEnders, whether it was American TV like 90210, it was everywhere.
It became this shorthand for introducing a rebellious character every time. And what gets me is that, in theory, I should really like this song. The themes that this song covers, again, completely separate to all the thematic narrative going on in the Black Parade. It's just about governments basically using the youth as a beating stick. Fun. I like that. I like something that's counterculture and anti-big bad government. Love it. Let's have it. Not here, please. And the overplay on all the TV shows and all the radio stations and everything else that came with it, it just drove this song at you all the goddamn time. And I have not recovered from it at all. I think this is such a blemish on what is otherwise a pretty good to, let's say, nigh on perfect album, and it just derails every last thing about it. And I am so torn about how to view this album, because I have to view it in the context of this was meant to be here, and everything in my body tells me that this does not belong.
Well, a way to highlight that is I've just had a browse on YouTube for covers of this song, and found that back 11 years ago, so what's that, 2014, this song was covered in Birmingham for some reason by the Vamps.
Okay.
Teenage boy pop band The Vamps covered the song Teenagers by My Chemical Romance.
Ew.
If that doesn't show you just how far this song went, then I don't know what else will.
Oh, that makes
there
me
is
feel
a
so
ska cover of Teenagers. There are kids covers, weirdly enough, who aren't teenagers. There's a ukulele cover.
Sorry, do Kids Bop do it?
Kids Bop haven't, but a kids band that look about 8 have done it.
Oh my God.
Oh, there's a Lolita version.
What?
There's a random, there's a rapper doing a cover. Yeah, this song was probably, I'm with you, as, if not more overplayed than Welcome to the Black Parade.
Totally. And it doesn't feel earned.
But with Welcome to the Black Parade, it was at least a generational eye-opener.
This is it.
And it was an incredible song. Like, the actual, if you look into the background of the actual rhythms and, the scores, it is so well built to have that orchestral bit as well, with the whole marching band and the drummer, the marching drummer with that beat. It's perfect.
This is it. Everything that teenagers lacked.
Exactly.
This is it. And you could levy some more complaints about tracks. Like I already said in the good bit, This Is How I Disappear in the Sharpest Love are basically the same song. You can do the same with which ones? It's Sleep and I Don't Love You. They're basically the same song. And, both take a while to get going. I could say that. I could say all these things. nothing is more of a blemish on this than Teenagers.
Well, it feels like the song that was directed at the Daily Mail.
Maybe.
So darken your clothes and strike a violent pose.
If
Maybe they'll leave you alone, but not me.
You're recontextualizing things in a way that I would enjoy it. This is why I brought you on.
Hello.
Because I need to get over my prejudices. So I will say this going into what is hopefully the last part of this podcast, unless you had any more in the bad pile you wanted to talk about.
No, I've covered my bad ones. Have you got any more in the bad ones, or is it just purely...
I just feel so strongly about Teenagers. I just think it's an absolute abhorrent to feature. I just think it's so undeserving of its place here. So we come to the question, and I will be completely honest with you here. I do not know what I am about to say. I have not decided which way I'm going to go. You've already decided. You already know.
I've already made my decision, so I won't influence you with my decision.
No.
I will let you make your decision first, and then let you know whether I agree or disagree.
It wasn't a defining release for me personally growing up, because I was one of those shallow-minded people that liked it entirely based on playground hearsay, labeling people who I, even remotely disagreed with. This came out at a time for us where music was almost the most important thing in our lives.
Oh, 100%. I had long hair purposely so I could hide my headphone up my shirt collar and listen to music during school.
Excellent.
Back when it was the dawn of the memory card and obtaining music services.
Yes.
Which are now cryptocurrencies, weirdly.
LimeWire's had a time in it.
It really has. But back when you weren't sure whether you were going to get a song, an album, or a porn virus, those were the times to be alive.
Oh my God. And at that time, it is the most important thing is who you listen to and, what you...
100%.
And, I have to now approach it as a 33-year-old man, which is very different. And I see more of its artistic merits now than I ever did. And I respect it and enjoy it more now than I have ever anticipated I would. I slated this stuff for years, and now here I am calling it basically the reincarnation of Queen's A Night at the Opera. It's that good.
However...
But Teenagers is so unsuited to be here. I could do one or two things here, right? I could actually give a verdict, or I could go, I abstain, and let you decide for me. What's more fun? I don't know what's more fun here. I'm so torn. I'm so incredibly torn. And I've forgiven albums with one bad song before. I set a precedent with Panic at the Disco. I still don't like Nails for Breakfast, Tax for Snacks. I still think it's crap. And I still gave it unskippable. But it at least felt like it came from the same half of that record. Teenagers is so not meant to be here.
It'd be like Newton Faulkner randomly adding a really over-the-top metalcore track to his acoustic album.
Yeah, despite the fact of whether he could do it or not, should he do it?
It depends on the release, and for this...
This is going to really rile Darren up. To quote Ian Malcolm, you spent so long thinking about whether or not you could that you didn't think about whether or not you should. That's my relationship with Teenagers. And I think it's funnier if I let you decide for the both of us.
Oh, that's fine. It's going in the skip, love.
Oh no! Oh, I feel really bad about that now. It wouldn't have got through either way.
It wouldn't have got through either way.
It wouldn't have got through either way.
So, as much of an emo anthem as this was, and as big as it is, and it still is to this day, an awakening album for the tracks that we've mentioned, Teenagers is a huge deviation from the rest of the album. And as I've said, some of the songs, they're great. They're just in the wrong order for me.
Damn.
So having a listen through as I do as a concept album, going cover to cover, sitting there listening to the whole thing, based on the overall tempo and the kind of mood the rest of the album generates, getting to some of the slower songs like I Don't Love You, which is a little bit whiny as well, I'll say, kind of has me leaning for that skip button straight away. There are certain songs on this album I would not want to listen to.
Part of me feels really gutted about this, and I don't know why. I didn't even feel strongly enough to actually say it's unskippable.
And When You're Gone
Yep.
would you even have the nerve to say, I don't love this album, and I never have done?
Damn. Honestly, did not expect that to go.
You didn't expect me to have such strong... You thought I was going to struggle a little bit more, didn't you?
I didn't think you hated it more than me. I think, genuinely, if Teenagers wasn't here, we wouldn't even be having a conversation about, is it a struggle? It would be a straight unskippable if Teenagers wasn't here. It's here, and it throws that question mark up for me. I genuinely feel bad that I didn't say it's unskippable now, because it wouldn't have mattered, and I could have said it, and I didn't. And regrets, because I think there's something so special about this record.
I think Three Cheers is a stronger album.
That's the gauntlet, right? Somebody's got to write in with Three Cheers now and make us do, have a redemption arc, basically.
I won't give an opinion on whether I think that album's unskippable. However, I do think if you have a listen to that album, it is a stronger album conceptually than The Black Parade.
Now, that's strong, because I think the concept is what makes this whole thing. If Three Cheers is really that good, somebody needs to write in. And, you can do that at skippod@gmail.com, or you can go to the link tree, which is the link in all of our socials, and you can write in Three Cheers. By the way, it's you don't use the E in skipped. I needed to space that out because Spotify being weird. I'm weirdly bummed out. I'm really weirdly bummed out with what's going on. I think we have just upset quite a lot of people.
If we're happy to upset the Adele fans,
yeah. Oh, we've upset the Adele fans. I tell you that.
We should be happy to upset the My Chemical Romance fans, who will be more accepting than the Adele fans.
Oh my God! I need you all to know that
this was 100% down to Rob. Mike in no way, shape or form wanted to skip this, but was too much of a pussyo to give a real opinion.
It's true. It's so true. But think about the journey. This is the greatest underdog story of all time, right? I loathed and detested this record, this album, everything. And to get to the point where there is one little fault to this package, one tiny little thing that just can't be ignored, and to just come that close to greatness, the biggest underdog story of all time is this album, because I have so much more love for it now than I ever did or ever thought I would have. But you know what? Perfection's a hard thing to attain.
It is. And we've listened to a lot of albums at the moment. Like, this is probably one of the first albums that we've sat down and listened to, and both of us went, we didn't like this as kids. Let's give it another chance.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, my partner loves this album. Your partner loved this album until you saw them.
Oh yeah, loved Past Tense after the Milton Keynes
until
show.
Milton Keynes. MCR, get your shit together. I know you're doing better now, but Bath need another show to make up for the shit show that you did during COVID.
Yep. Bath.
Bastards. I thought, where was it?
Milton Keynes.
Oh, I don't know why I said Bath.
We made a whole thing about Milton Keynes basically being like
a roundabout.
Yeah, Anyway.
MCR need a bath.
I don't feel good about this. Join us next week, where hopefully something may get that unskippable recommendation. Thank you very much for listening. We'll see you next Wednesday. Bye, everybody.
Bye.